Welcome to Annapolis Mosaics. Our program spotlights people in the community who are involved in activities designed to promote good human relations. I'm Michael Keller, the chair of the Annapolis Human Relations Commission and your host. The commission is a city board that seeks to promote equal opportunity and to eliminate discrimination. My guests today are Megan Orszowski, who is the Director of Development for Opportunity Builders, and Rod Corbin, who is Director of Operations for that organization. Megan and Rod, welcome to Annapolis Mosaics.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, let's start by giving you an opportunity to share with our viewers what the mission of Opportunity Builders is.
Sure. So OBI, together with the community, provides work for adults with developmental disabilities. We work with about 120 local businesses to make sure our individuals are employed, whether it's in our employment setting, which Rod is the director of, or out in the community working in supported employment. So we've worked really hard to make sure the individuals are earning a paycheck, are able to make independent decisions, and are contributing to society.
Mm-hmm. Well, could you relate to our viewers a little bit about the history of the organization?
Certainly. OBI has been around since 1962. We started as a sheltered workshop of Anne Arundel County. At that time, we were only serving about 6 individuals. So we've grown significantly since then. I think we serve about 450 at this point. Okay. And at that time, we were doing furniture finishings in an old firehouse workshop in the basement there. And since then, we've grown. We moved a few times, and we finally settled down in Millersville, Maryland. We have a 41,000 square foot building where we do packaging, assembly, distribution, which Rod can tell you far more about than I can. And then we also do the supported employment operations. So we've been around for more than 50 years, serving about 450 individuals at this time through both supported employment and our contract work. Yeah, and it's been fun. It's a great organization, and our executive director has been with us for about 26 years too. So there's a lot of history. Yeah, a lot of history with us. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, Opportunity Builders personalizes its services to meet the needs, interests, and capabilities of those you serve. Could you elaborate on what that means?
Certainly. I'll talk about the supported employment, and then I'll let Rod talk about what we do in-house. So when an individual comes to us, they have a program coordinator that is responsible for helping them meet their vocational goals, and they talk about what it is that they want to do, what they want to accomplish, where they want to be working, and what goals they have. So they work together with their team to figure out how they're going to reach their vocational goals. And you know, we had one individual that came and he wanted to be on the Navy football team, which is pretty incredible. But to be on the Navy football team, he would have had to get accepted to the Naval Academy, and then he would have been great enough of a football player to be on the team. So that's quite a feat to overcome. So our program coordinator got brainstorming with him, and what they decided was he could go work on the fields at the Naval Academy. So he had to be at every practice and every game, and then naturally he became part of the team in an indirect way. So I think when we're finding employment for them in the community, it might not always be what they initially think they're going to be doing, but we make sure we're facilitating a vocational opportunity where they're at least achieving their dreams in some aspect. And then in-house, we have lots of different contracts that individuals can choose to work on, and then we base their pay on their movements, which Rod can tell you all about the MODAP system.
Right. A lot of the in-house work is hand assembly or kitting, but we also do have 5 shrink wrap machines, so we can provide shrink wrapping for companies who are looking for that type of work to be completed.
What is that kind of work?
The shrink wrapping? It's basically putting an item into a plastic, it's a sealer, and then it seals the bag around it, goes through a heat tunnel, and it's the film that shrinks the item. It'll shrink around to hold that item. And when we get them in the store, we're trying to open them and get them apart, and we get out something to try and get, it shrinks it to that item. So we have 5 of those machines, and we do work daily for J.C. Perry and Sons. They do stretch wrap film, and we do shipping. We do the shrink wrapping and then shipping for them on a daily basis, and that's for U-Haul. It goes to U-Haul in the long run. So again, we're working with individuals, teaching them how to work around machinery, with machinery, and then again, on the other hand, doing the hand assembly and kitting of packages.
Okay. Opportunity Builders provides transportation to the adults that it serves. How does that work? That would be a big project to provide transportation for you had talked about 400 some individuals. How do you coordinate that? How do you make that workable?
We have a fantastic transportation department.
Okay, all right. Well, let our viewers know about exactly what it does. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we have a fleet of about 62 vehicles.
Okay.
And we pick up individuals at their home or residence starting around 7:30. And then we'll bring them to our facilities in Millersville. And then if they're working in the community, then we take them to work. So not only are we transporting them to and from our facility, but then we're also transporting them to their different work sites throughout Anne Arundel County. So we start transportation at 7:30. We've got a few really early mornings. We're responsible for cleaning the MVA building in Annapolis. So we've got a transportation that starts, I think, at 6 o'clock, maybe 5:30. I don't know. They're up really early doing that in the morning. So we'll start picking them up and then take them to their work sites, and then at the end of the day, we'll start dropping them off at home. We start dropping them off around 2:30 or so, but everybody's work schedule is slightly different, so we're running transportation into the late evening sometimes, getting folks home. And we work a lot too with some of the public transportation options. If an individual is able to use a light rail, we'll take them to the light rail, and then they can go to a job maybe down the light rail. So in that way, they're able to be more independent, because that's our goal, is really to help the individuals be as independent as possible, and help them to achieve that. But yeah, we're always transporting people. Hopefully folks see our vans down and around Annapolis.
It's a jigsaw puzzle, though. That's continually changing, because once someone obtains employment, then we need to, look at where they need to go, who needs to get them there, what time. And as Megan stated, we start early in the morning, and I believe we go to almost midnight. We have people who work at Maryland Live, and they get off in those late shifts and do an evening shift, and so it goes from sunrise to way past sunset.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk about some of your specific program services and get some details about that, because if you look at the various program activities that you have, it's really quite impressive. One is like a warehouse operation. And what goes on with warehouse operation?
Correct. That's what I oversee.
Okay.
I procure the contracts, and we bring work into the facility for individuals to do, which I'd stated we had the shrink wrap machines.
Right.
But we also do kitting for a variety of companies. We work with almost 36 companies throughout the year that we're doing work for, some on an ongoing basis, some on an as needed or 3 times a year or something like that. So the work comes in, and we have our individuals do the assembly. We participate in the setup. We even set up individuals to be able to ensure that the product goes out correctly. They're part of the quality controls. We put people into all the different aspects of completing a simple kitting box, whereas it goes out, it goes to the community, and it needs to look, right. So that's one of the biggest things we do in-house is the assembly and kitting and shrink wrapping. But we have a lot of other programs that...
Well, we're going to talk about them. You've got one that's called supported employment.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what does that entail?
Yeah, so about half of the individuals we serve, about 220 or so, work in the community. So we've mentioned throughout the show Maryland Live, the Annapolis Naval Academy, and so the supported employment goal is to find jobs in the community for individuals. So some folks really want to work in the community, and we want to make sure they're able to do so. And so we help them find those jobs. We go on interviews with them. We help them prepare their resumes. We work with businesses to maybe figure out, maybe an individual's really great at doing X part of a job, but they can't maybe do the Y part. Mm-hmm. We work with the businesses to help them see if they can hire one individual to do the X and maybe another one of ours to do the Y, and split the jobs so that our folks can really be successful. And we've got folks going all out throughout the community, talking to businesses, trying to get our folks hired in different businesses throughout the county and to fulfill those vocational goals.
Mm-hmm. You also do work in the area of job development too.
Yeah. So if an individual comes to us, wants to work in the community, and wants to maybe, let's just say, do retail, and they don't necessarily have the skills to be able to fold a shirt. I mean, we take that for granted sometimes, how it might take a lot of practicing. So we can teach that individual how to do it, have adaptive equipment perhaps, so that they can fold the shirt just as quickly as you and I can using their adaptive equipment. So a lot of our job development is focused on, again, with the support employment, helping the individuals to figure out what it is they want to be doing and getting employed in those settings and making sure they have the skills to do that.
Yeah. And then you also have a focus on the whole leisure and recreation area as well.
Yeah, it's a small part of our program that was created because the individuals, their parents were retiring. They said, that looks great, I'd love to retire. But they still really needed our services. So that's kind of how it started. And they do karaoke and spa days, and it's to meet the individuals' needs who want to come in, who want to see their friends, because we offer a huge social aspect for the individual we serve. So they want to come in, but they're just kind of done working. So that's kind of how that plays a part into our organization, and folks can be in that area as frequently as every day or as infrequently as once a week. It just kind of depends on what they want to be doing.
And we do have some outside people who come in, like a music therapist. He comes in one day a week and runs 4 different sessions. We have other types of classes and things for the recreation, leisure, and the outdoor activity type things for them too.
Mm-hmm. And how about the what do the demographics of your of those you assist are? All of them, of course, are individuals who would be classified as developmentally disabled. Mm-hmm. But what kinds of are they young or the old, male, female? What's your the typical breakdown you would have, or is it just everybody?
It is a little bit of everyone. Typically, everyone has ended at school. Right. So typically everyone's 21 or above. Okay. And there's actually 2 individuals who are in our program who 50 plus years ago were some of the first 2 people who started the program, who were there when the program opened.
Okay, we're going to take a break now, but when we return, I'm going to be talking with Megan and Rod about some personal experiences that they have had with the actual real individuals who are part of Opportunity Builders.
Did you know 65% of home fire deaths occurred in homes without smoke alarms or without working smoke alarms? Hi, I'm Inspector Jacobelli of the Annapolis Fire Department, and we'd like to tell you about a smoke alarm program that we have for Annapolis citizens. If you cannot afford or you need assistance with any of the smoke alarms that you have, please call us at 410-263-7975 and we'll make an appointment with you right away. Also, here's some important points to remember when purchasing or maintaining your smoke alarms. Install an alarm in every bedroom, outside every sleeping area, on every level of your home, including the basement. If your smoke alarm is older than 10 years, it's time to replace it. You can find out how old the alarm is by looking at the manufacturing date on the back of the alarm. Replace the batteries in your smoke alarm every year and whenever you hear the alarm chirping, which indicates the battery is low. Make sure it has the label of an independent testing laboratory. Test your alarms every month by pressing the test button. Always follow the manufacturer's installation instructions that come with your alarm. They explain the do's and don'ts in placement and care. We recognize having smoke alarms in your home is vital. So please call us at 410-263-7975 if you have any questions or need any assistance with your smoke alarms. Thank you and be safe.
We're talking today with Megan Orzechowski, who is the Director of Development for Opportunity Builders, and Rod Corbin, who is the Director of Operations for that organization. Rod and Megan, could you share with our viewers some stories about people whom Opportunity Builders helped that you find especially meaningful to you?
Well, I'll start. I think if you would show up at our facility on a payday Friday, you would be absolutely elated to see the number of people when they receive their paychecks are cheering and happy. There is not a happier group, a workforce out there. The individuals get up every day and are insistent on coming to work and wanting to work. And so just that I've been there 23 years, and the individuals and their enthusiasm and excitement is so rewarding for everyone. Mm-hmm. And when you see that, it gets under your skin. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. That's one of my favorite things is payday Fridays.
Okay.
A paycheck it's like an award ceremony. Everybody's name's called, and then everybody applauds, and they celebrate getting their paycheck and what they're going to be able to do with those funds. Gosh, it's hard. There's so many stories to share. I think one of the favorite ones that I have, we have an individual, and he works out in the community, and we ended up having a 3-day weekend, which for most people, 3-day weekends, we look forward to that, 3 days to go have a break, spend some time at the beach, whatever you want to do. But we were leaving that Friday, and he was so upset, and I was just like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm not going to be able to work until Tuesday. He's not going to be able to come back to work until Tuesday. I was like, we'll be here, it'll be all right. But he was looking forward so much to coming into work that he was disappointed that he had a day off. And it just kind of reminds you of why you're there and the impact that you have on these individuals, because not only are we providing a paycheck, but it's independence and it's freedom, and we're able to be part of that every day. And it just, it kind of put in perspective what we're doing and why we're doing it, and helped me remember why we're here, just because he was so disappointed to not be there on a Monday, where most people wouldn't mind missing a Monday.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of my favorite stories.
And there's a lot of pride when individuals get jobs away from the facility. They like to come in and then talk about it and make sure they see you again. There's the concern that they aren't going to see their friends again. So a lot of times if people are working 3 days a week or 4 days a week, they'll come in on those other days. And they're always a great boost to everyone when they're talking about their jobs and the excitement about their job and what they're doing. And they'll bring their paychecks in from their other place, like, hey, look, see what I did. So their pride is just overwhelming and contagious.
Any other specific stories that you can think of you'd like to share?
I guess I'm thinking of Diane. We have an individual who, when she was born, the doctors told her parents basically, maybe just send her to an institution. There's really nothing that we think can be done for her. Her parents were not having that, and they fought so hard for her. And now she's an adult, and she is working for the Anne Arundel County Public School Systems. She works at Marley Elementary. She works in the cafeteria, helping the kids get their lunches, things like that. But then she also works in a classroom with I think it's kindergarten that she does. But she during the school day, she goes every single day, loves it, and it's just so impressive to see what individuals can do when they're given the opportunity to do it. And I think Diana's a great example of it. Her parents fought hard, she fought hard, and she's earning a paycheck, making it, her own decisions and living life to the fullest. So she's quite an inspiration to me, personally.
Well, you've given an excellent example as to the hope that Opportunity Builders brings to so many adults whom at one point in time society would have just dismissed. At one point in time they would have been relegated to the shadows of life, either at home or in an institution. But you're providing the people that come through your doors with not only reasons to get up every day, but to feel that they're really experiencing and fulfilling a full and satisfying life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's many other stories you could share as well. But I think the one you just mentioned about Diane, I think, does a really good job. I'm sure there's lots of others as well. Well, let's talk about some of the things that you do in addition to your daily programming. I know that you offer supplemental services as well. I could talk. I think Rod made some reference to one of them earlier. But let's talk about, you have something called work adjustment training that you do.
Yeah. It's a 13-week course taught in the individuals work in a computer lab, working on having a resume prepared. So by the end of the 13-week class, they have a resume. Sometimes they do work on presentation skills, whether they've done PowerPoint, they'll give a PowerPoint presentation to their class. Interview, they practice interviewing, and they practice how to dress appropriately for an interview. Everything that would prepare an individual to get a job in the community is part of the 13-week program. The idea is once an individual's graduated from the program, they have their resume, they've got their skills, so now they're fully prepared to go into a job interview.
And you also have a computer lab on site.
Yeah.
And you'd normally think, how much can people who are developmentally disabled do with computers? But my guess is that quite a bit.
Oh yeah, quite a bit. I think we underestimate people all the time.
Right.
And our computer lab was outfitted with adaptive equipment. So we have extra large keyboards and screen enlargers, and we received all that through a grant through the Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County. So through that grant, we were able to expand the computer lab so that individuals who might have limited fine motor skills can still go and use the computer lab. My favorite piece of equipment is an eye gazer. So what happens is perhaps an individual has limited mobility in their hands. They can use their, or even throughout, they can use their eyes to direct the mouse to click on the things they want to do. So they can use a computer, and whether it's to write a resume or just to play a game, it's given them the opportunity to do something that they wouldn't have been able to do without it. So,
You also have an adult basic education.
We do. We have a wonderful instructor who was certified through the state of Maryland and decided she really wanted to teach our folks. So she helps with basic reading and math. There's a book club that's also kind of branched out from that. But she helps individuals. So, you know, some of our contracts, we do a shoelace contract.
Okay.
So we have
Shoelace contract.
A shoelace contract.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, so we're packaging shoelaces,
That sounds
and we need to make sure we put the right laces on the right, you know, boxes. So they need to be able to read red and put red laces on, or orange and put orange laces. We have got the rainbow of colors, so they need to be able to recognize those words. So the continuing education classes just help them to stay refreshed in all those different types of skills. Counting, maybe we need to count out 5 sheets of paper for a contract. The better their skills are, the more they're able to do those contracts and earn those paychecks.
There's a lot of life skills too that she teaches and things to help them further in their work abilities.
Yeah, and you know, one example of that, I think you have programs in health and safety awareness.
We have a whole committee of people who are involved in the health and safety, which includes the staff, the employees. Everyone is involved in it, and they do safety checks throughout the building. There's certain people who are assigned for providing, you know, any safety notifications throughout the day. If they notice a pile of things laying over there that someone could trip on, they'll notify people, and there are safety ambassadors to help each of the areas maintain those safety measures that are needed and required in most any facility.
Yeah, I think sometimes people expect our facility to be different than any other warehouse, but we're not. We're just a warehouse full of people with developmental disabilities. So our folks, our individuals that we serve, are the ones that are making sure we are not tripping over the pallets left in the middle of the aisleway. Our staff obviously help, but we have assigned certain individuals to be responsible for those things, and they take it very seriously, as they need to, because safety is one of our biggest concerns when we're on the warehouse floor dealing with some of the things that we deal with out there. So,
On the health aspect of that, they're looking at, they'll do programs on recycling, programs on heart health, you know, programs on diabetes, you know, a variety of things that, on diets and things like that, on the health aspect to further, you know, people's knowledge.
Does Opportunity Builders make use of volunteers?
yes.
Tell us how you make use of volunteers.
So we use volunteers. Our board of directors is an all-volunteer board of directors, so we use them in that capacity. And then we have several committees off of that where we use volunteers to help guide the organization in different areas, whether it's quality assurance, which goes along with our health and safety, events, or our advancement committee, which is part of fundraising and things like that. And then we also work with volunteers who maybe have a unique skill that they can teach our individuals. We have a greenhouse that we're trying to get up and running. So volunteers that have green thumbs are welcome to come and help us. And then we do different projects throughout the week, scrapbooking and gosh, I'm not going to remember all of them. Scrapbooking, sign language, any skill that our individuals would benefit from learning or enjoy learning. We always welcome those volunteers to come and teach them, and we'll have the staff on hand to assist with the individuals. But we're always trying to help our individuals learn new things and gain new opportunities. And then I'll put a plug in. I always need tons of volunteers in February, every February. It's our Mardi Gras event, and it is so volunteer driven. I probably need about 40 volunteers every year. So anybody who's looking for something to do every February, think about our Mardi Gras. It's always the first Saturday, so it changes each year, but I'm always needing folks to come help set up and then break down and then volunteer to plan it. It's our biggest fundraiser, so it's really a lot of work. We do it in our warehouse, which takes a lot of volunteers to totally redecorate it, take it out, no longer a warehouse, turn it into a Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So it's a lot of work.
So that goes into the next question of how does Opportunity Builders derive its funding? You obviously have at least one fundraiser, which you described. Do you have others? And from what other sources do you obtain your money? Because obviously you're going to need funds for you to continue the kind of work that you're doing.
Yeah, so a majority of our fundraising, we do receive a majority of our funds from the state. Every individual that comes to us, the state says, this is what it should cost to provide the services that we say you should be providing. So we raise the additional funds to expand the services, to make sure that we're maintaining the quality that we set for ourselves, because we like to make sure the individuals are getting the best quality, and that's not always possible just on one source of income. So we raise private funds to help kind of make sure that our services really are what the individuals deserve. And so we do it through 3 major fundraising events, and then generous donors throughout the year that donate through us through corporate or private donations. But our biggest fundraising event is our Mardi Gras, and then we do a golf tournament and a smaller fundraiser that is focused purely on the individuals, and they give back through a bowl-a-thon that happens in the fall. So those are our major events that happen every year, and then we participated in some of the online, the Great Give through the Community Foundation and things like that. We're always trying to be creative in the way we find new sources of funds to help us do what it is that we do.
I'm sure that many of our viewers are going to want to be able to get more information about Opportunity Builders and perhaps get in contact with you. How is the best way that they can reach you? Do you have a telephone number? Do you have a website that people can see? Could you share that with us?
Yeah, so our website is obiworks.org. So our initials, Opportunity Builders, Inc., so obiworks.org. And then our phone number is 410-787-0700. If you call, we have a wonderful receptionist who will be able to direct you to who might be most appropriate for you to speak to. And then our website's got all of the information you could possibly want on there. All of our headshots and who the directors are and what it is that they do. I think it's a pretty informative site that gives you what you might need.
Thank you for viewing our program today, and please join us again on Annapolis Mosaics. If you would like more information about the Annapolis Human Relations Commission, jot down the information on your screen. You can reach us at 410-263-7998 or by email at hrcommission@annapolis.gov. Or check out our page at the City of Annapolis website. Go to www.annapolis.gov, click on City Government, then Boards and Commissions, and then down to the Human Relations Commission page. And always remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said, "We have flown the air like birds and swum the seas like fishes, but have yet to learn the simple act of walking the earth as brothers and sisters."